Mhm. It is 7 p.m. in the evening, and good evening to everybody, and happy Saturday. So, I hope you are enjoying your Saturday or you've enjoyed your Saturday. What did you get up to that is not good? Because I want to hear those stories. What did you get up to that was not good? Because how scandalous are you? I mean, I'm the type of person that believes that why spoil a good story with facts. So, if you're going to tell us some boring weekend, we'll be like, oh gosh, we are used to that. We want some scandalous stuff that you did on the weekend. So, what did you do since last night when we parted ways? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just got out of load shedding about an hour ago. Since I think the electricity left around 2, so it was 4 hours long. Was it 4 hours? Yeah, it's 4 hours. So yeah, I just got out of that nonsense called load shedding. So guys, the link is already up. Please let's interact one on one. Please do come through. Don't be shy. We don't bite here. This is a safe space. This is where we let our head down. Yes, we might be discussing serious things and being opinionated about those things, but still, I still want you to relax. And because I think we're getting to know each other much better than we ever have before. If you're new here, it's a safe space for you too as well. You are allowed to voice your opinion about absolutely everything. So I see some people are misbehaving in the chat. It's not official yet, but of course I know you can see the results and you are thinking, might as well just go along that line. I thought I was gonna. In fact, I'm going to leave it for another 24 hours. Surely tomorrow, then we will say, okay, what do we call ourselves? Do we call ourselves the public gallery, or we call ourselves the clan? So I do have the results here so far. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I'll read them out to you if you have not. So the votes say the clan 74%, the public gallery 26%, and votes that came in is 249. So I'm just gonna leave it for another 24 hours, and after that, we are definitely going to have an official community name for this amazing community that I believe we all have built together, because I see some of y'all have become very interactive with each other. At some point, I'm sure we will all end up being friends with each other. If you have a channel, some will subscribe to your channel and or subscribe to each other's channels, or whatever the case might be. So thus far, we are still at arm's length, but we're coming closer and closer and closer to each other. And I love that. I love that so very much. So let me read the incoming messages. These are the live chats. And so we can go ahead and start. Doliza. Oh, Decoliza says waiting. So she's been waiting from 6:30. I love the enthusiasm. Thank you. And then I've also posted the link. I'm not seeing anybody backstage yet. Can I see somebody in the backstage, please? Caliso in the Netherlands. Good evening, fam. Good evening to you too, Caliso. Thank you so much for coming. Tandy, good evening, clan. Good evening to you too. Misbehaving already, but okay, we'll go with it because it's 76% that says let's call the community the clan. Slew. Hi, clan. Hi. Hello. Good evening. Good to see you. Betty Hape. Hampe. Yesterday we were missing you, Betty. We missed you. I even said it that. Oh my goodness, Betty's not here. Anyway, Dumelang to you too, or Dumela to you too. Ooh, Suchi never loved me. Otwana did never loved me, but anyways, I will keep biting my tongue until I get it right. Busisiwe came through and says the clan. So you're voting only one vote per member, one member, one vote. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this. Lou says the clan takes the cup. Things can change. Things can change because let me tell you something. In here, I've even have like new suggestions. People made some suggestions such as Clantis clan, and then there's this other one that made me laugh so hard. It's Clanus, meaning like it's spelled Clanus, and then I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you're gonna put me in trouble, with Uranus, the planet Uranus. So the first time when you read the planet Uranus, you will think people are saying you're behind. So I'm thinking some people might want to be like troll us and write CL-ANUS. I was like, oh, interesting, but risque, very risque. And then the other one is CD Clan, the CD Clan. So there's been suggestions after I had put up the poll yesterday, and those are the suggestions that have come through. But yes, you are right. The clan seems to be winning 76%, and the public gallery sitting at 26%. So we'll see where it all goes. Brian Herman, how are you? Good evening, CD, and dear brothers and sisters on the chat. Been waiting for you, CD. Oh, I'm here now. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for coming through, you guys. I always appreciate you. The support that I get from y'all is amazing. I love it, and I'm very grateful. I take no advantage of it at all. Trust me. Louis in the house. Good evening, clan. Good evening to you too, Louis, Betty, the clan. Yeah, it's winning. It's winning. Dukushange, say good evening, clan. I'm so sad I can't join in today. Oh, what's happening? Oh, you're going to have some fun. Okay, you're excused. Slu says, by the way, I'm streaming from the US. For example, I was like, oh yeah, hi, the US is in the house. Thank you for coming through. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming through. Okay. So you guys, I don't know. One of you members of the clan noticed that whenever I go live, I have not switched on my monetization. So that means like when you click to watch the live, you don't see any ads. And for a minute myself, I'm thinking, how do I do that? How do I turn on my monetization before I come in or during the live? I've been fidgeting until one of y'all was like, "Hey, this is what you do." So she guided me. Her name is Tabinyoni. She has a YouTube channel as well called Tabinyoni. Please do go subscribe to her channel as a token of our appreciation for helping me out with this one. Clearly, I teach YouTube or I do YouTube education, but this one flew over my head because sorry, because I've never done it before. So she came through on my Instagram DM, and then she showed me how it's done. And I'm sure now when you come through, you do see some adverts. I beg, do watch them. Even with the replay, do watch them. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can stand up, go make some tea, go to the bathroom, go kick it. Okay, don't kick a dog. No, don't. My English teacher used to say that. Like, when you do your homework or you're studying, you should just study and then take a break, go and take a walk and kick a dog. And everybody will be like, ah. So I picked up that bad habit from her. So don't kick no dog, please. Don't. Just don't. So yeah, just so what I was trying to say was is that yeah, she showed me how it's done and now they are turned on. And she also showed me another trick after the live. What do I do? I was like, okay, cool. We'll try that out as well because at the end of the day, all of this that we do is to also make extra income stream. We live in the most difficult time in South Africa. I think globally as well. So some people now are beginning to say, okay, the pandemic taught us a lesson, and then if you're not going to have an extra stream of income, the job that you are in, that's what it taught me because my job got threatened. Yeah, it got threatened by the pandemic. It was a matter of do we keep you or do we let you go? Because this is what we're experiencing in terms of finances. And then when that hit me, I was like, whoa, thank goodness I have a YouTube channel that was still growing. It was not making money at that point when I got that news. But at least I knew that if it grows, it will start making me some money, and then I will probably be able to survive, maybe have my head above the water for a while until I find a new job. So when we do all of this, it's part of extra income stream. And then when you guys come through and you support that, I don't take it for granted at all. I appreciate you guys a lot for that. So let's continue after the tear jerking speech that I just gave. Betty says, I missed you too. My internet was down. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, you would think the rich areas like where you live would have like smooth running internet. Can't the ghetto? Oh, Kalizo says the clan. Yeah, the clan is winning. Betty says, right after the meeting, hey, these Nyaupe boys, oh, what did they do now? Ah, Sandy says, Betty, go again. We didn't hear your story last week because of network. Yes, by the way, you can come through. You can come through and complete your story because last time we had network issues, I think on my side. Betty is laughing. Cynthia, hi, hello. Finally, you made it. Finally, you made it, Cynthia. Thank you so much for coming through. By the way, where are you in the US again, Cynthia? Because I'm having some US people in the house, and I'm so appreciative of all of you guys. We also have somebody from the Netherlands. Yeah, I'm grateful once again. So, anyways, guys, let me just post the link again. Don't ignore the link. Don't ignore the link. Come through. Let's have some fun, guys. Let's chat. You know, if you feel like chatting, let's come through. We can talk about absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be the Senzo Meiwa murder retrial. Today's Saturday. We can just be hanging out and chat about other stuff. If you want to also talk about the Senzo Meiwa, the what do you call this murder trial, we can talk about that. But I was thinking because now we this whole this live is about the week that was with your boy Clantis. Yeah, the members of the clan are here and we have gathered and the register is signed. So I was thinking the one thing that stuck out to me the most this past week. You can also give me your own. What stuck out the most for you in the Senzo Meiwa murder trial, especially with the witnesses? Where it's a witness that has passed, whether it's a Colonel State or Tapseng or Zandile Kumalo or Mabasa Togo, you can tell me what stood out the most for you. Then made you say, you know what, there's no case here. The state does not have a case, or the state does have a case on the basis of one, two, three, four, five. You see what I'm trying to say? For me, what stuck out the most that I heard this week was Longway's statement. Longway, we know that he hasn't taken the stand, but it was read out in court that Longway claimed that he sent an SMS to a family member. I'm thinking it was his father because Chico Twala, we know he ended up at the hospital doing what goodness knows. Because he's not a police, he's not an ambulance. So what was he doing at the hospital? And his son, oh, as we know, he ran away. He ran away and never came back. So why is he there? But now this is the thing that that SMS, the statement that he sent to I think his father, I assume, that Senzo Mayor was shot in our presence or in front of me. But you and I, we heard not by one person but two people said Senzo Mayor. I mean not Senzo Mayor. Longa Twala left the house or left the room when the intruders came. He remember he stood up, pushed the one with the gun, and then off he was gone. Zandi said he ran. Ntoko said he walked. So now, when he says that Senzo Mayo was killed in his presence and others, did he really run away? Now, that's the question because I've always said, Mina, the shooter, in my own opinion, is Longwe. And of course, if you have a powerful father like his, excuse me, excuse me, if you're going to have a powerful father like his, not only is he powerful with political connections, but he also financially powerful. He could have just rounded them all up and said, okay, how much is to shut you up? And when how much is to shut you up? Okay, you two, I will give you gigs and I will give you free recording sessions to create an album, perform. That's the way you can shut up for me. And what about you, who was sitting outside with your friend in the car and you didn't see anything? How much is your silence? When I'm talking the best friend, you, I think I'm gonna have to pay you more than I have to pay all the others because you are highly likely to rat on us. So how much do I pay you? That possibility is there. It could have happened. I'm not saying it did, but it could have happened because listen to these people testifying. They are literally tripping over each other with words, with memories. Some is saying this, and the other is like, no, that's not for me to say. That is going to be for the other one to say because I cannot think like that one. I didn't see. We don't see this. We don't hear things to say. But it was the same gun. It was the same gun under the same roof. Did it ring once? Did it ring twice? Did it ring three times? And who rang them? And that ended up shooting Senzo Meiwa. You know what I'm trying to say here? That what stood out for me that you know what if the court at this point does not see the lie that is being told to it, then I don't know what. But of course you can tell that the judge can see what's the judge can tell. It's just that the defense lawyers themselves, they need themselves to get their line of questioning correct. Because I agree with the judge's interruptions. Yes, they are annoying, but I agree with him getting clarity. I want to know this, the way he's saying it. He's not saying that I'm with the state, or I am with the Kumalos, or I am with the accused. But I can see that there's nothing here. But then the way you're questioning these people, it might end up implicating them indirectly or by default. You see what I'm trying to say? And I understand many people are quite irritated by the judge, quite irritated as a matter of fact. I was myself, but I quickly realized that yeah, he's correct when he wants the defense team to ask questions like cut dry questions rather than being ambiguous. We did talk about this yesterday. Like, don't be ambiguous. Ask the question properly. That way, it can be registered into. I mean, it can be added onto the records as saying that when the judge starts making his decision, he knows it's okay. When I have to balance the scales of justice, which way does it tip? You know. Let's go into the live chat again. I'll tell you my second highlight of the week. Yes, the clan. Smo, how? I Smo, Smo is the house. Hello, host hand pink wavy. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Yeah, it's good to see you here. Nicholas says hello at recipes. Obviously, that's Mo. Yeah. Cynthia says, I am in Washington, D.C. Oh, you're in the capital of the United States of America. So, how's the U.S., right? I mean, how is Washington, D.C.? You're not though, because you know the entire U.S., how it's doing. It's good to have you here, Cynthia. Thank you so much. And your kindness. I haven't forgotten about your kindness. Can you believe it? I'm still in a situation with that. thing. And so the thing is still kind of like stuck there, but I'm very close to resolving the issue, despite me having to open a new, you know what I'm talking about. Sorry to everybody else. I'm sorry speaking in encrypted message, but there's something that's yeah. But anyways, let's continue. Slew says, "What's your take on the cancellation of Special K Clantis?" You know what? That's actually a very good question. This is something that I never thought about before. I've never thought about this before, and I will tell you what. I believe in the innocence of a person. Okay, let me put it this way. The first time you and I will meet, the first thing that I always do is to give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove me otherwise. Because you might be all nice in the beginning, but as time goes, because me, what I usually do, I give you the benefit of the doubt and a long rope. So it's up to you as we continue as our what do you call this acquaintances gets mature. What do you do? How do you show me your true colors? Did you show me your true colors from the first impression, first impressions, or as time goes, then you become the real you, and then you take the rope and hang yourself. When the moment you start showing me your true colors, and they so happen to be something that I disagree with, that's when I distance myself and I just don't distance myself. I never look back. I will say hi from a distance, but I'll never have a conversation with you. So then it comes to the law. I believe that a person is innocent until proven otherwise. We haven't had Kelly Kuman understand yet. And I understand as well the call for her cancellation because her name was mentioned in the most serious case in the country. And she's never been in public where I don't know, maybe she has. I've never heard about her calling for Senzo's justice in public. So I can understand why people are angry, but at the same time, I still feel like let's go with the line of her being innocent because again, from my side, and I've said it before, I don't believe in the theory that she's a mastermind of some kind in the death of Senzo Mewa. I don't believe that. And I don't believe that she intended for Senzo Meiwa to be killed that particular night. I get the conspiracy theories. And to me, they are quite plausible. When you listen to the ones that people are saying, they are quite plausible. But I don't see it. I don't see her pulling the trigger. But I do see, and I think I would. Okay, let me tell this story again for those of you who are new here. I have said that in my imagination, what had happened on the 26th of October 2014 was on the 25th, Zandile, Kelly Kumalo, Thwala, and Senzo Meiwa were together. Apparently Kelly Kumalo was performing at Dorothy Nyembe hall, whatever was going on there. However, that particular day it was raining and therefore the show had to be cancelled. The four of them hopped onto Senzomeo's X6 and went to Malberton. In Malberton, of course, Mthogo tells a story that he wanted to go back home in Katlehong, but Senzo said he cannot drive him to Katlehong because of the weather and the potholes and all the other stuff that he mentioned to her. And then he asked him to sleep over, and then he will take him home in the morning. Now, remember, Zandile Kumalo was the girlfriend of Longwe Thwala. Now, I believe that Longwe Thwala has been looking for Zandile from the 25th of October. He probably was so agitated and so angry. Maybe he heard where Zandile was and with whom she's with, and that of course Senzo Mewa and Senzo Mewa and Kelly Kumalo are a couple, and then there's another guy in there that Longwe doesn't know, and the girlfriend is with them. And then he finds out that they slept over under one roof. So probably this angers him and agitates him so much, trying to call Zandile. Probably Zandile is not even answering the phone call, which makes him even more suspicious and more agitated and more whatever it is that was going through his head, because apparently at the time too, he was smoking them thing. He was on drugs, basically, they say. And so, of course, he didn't know where Malberton was, but he knows Kelly Kumalo's home because he's been there. And then, if you're listening to the testimonies, it, you can tell that he's been there a number of times. He's well known by the family. So, of course, on the 26th, they wake up in Malberton, and then, of course, Senzomeo was supposed to go to a party, but before the party, they had to go to a go karting and whatever the case was. And then we all know what had happened. Then, of course, Sanzomewa gets a phone call to go back to Soweto because now, okay, the weather is cleared, of course, for Kelly to go and perform for Ata Mafukate. They went to Soweto. She performed. After performing at 4:30, then they had to drive to Katlehong to drop Umtogo, right? So they get to Katlehong, they drop Mtogo, and then they leave. Few minutes later, Senzo calls Mtogo, says, "Hey, change. I'm coming to pick you up because we're going to pick up Utumelo from N3 in Spreadview, and then come back with him." So of course Mtogo changes, and then because even Zandi says Mtogo, when they were with him during the day, he was dressed in a different attire, and then they went back to get him, and he had changed into a new attire. And then they pick up Tumelo from the N3, and then they drive to Fosloras. But before they get to Zandile's house, what do they? Where do they go? They go to the store that sells both food and alcohol. They buy themselves alcohol, and then they drive to the Kumalos. And then when they drive to the Kumalos, of course, now we know Utuma Kumalo Upege Isopo, and then they ate, and then they continued drinking and having fun. And then while they were busy having the fun, now we understand that around 7 o'clock, this is when Zandile gets a text message from Longwe saying, "I'm outside." Now, what we don't know is, did Zandile get up and go and collect him, or he just barged in into the house? Because Mtogo says when this man that he doesn't know and never seen before enters the house, doesn't greet and takes a seat next to Zandile. Now, when he takes a seat next to Zandile, this is where I think the argument started. Ububuphi, wangenza slima, what, blah, blah, blah. Then there's a back and forth and a back. And then probably this conversation gets really, really ugly between Zandile and Longwe. And then he looks around at which other guy that was with you. There's no way that you slept in one bedroom and then these two slept in their own bedroom. Maybe the Mambleton house doesn't have, like, I don't know how big it is. I don't know how many bedroom it has. And Togo never said whether he slept on the couch in the living room or he slept in the bedroom. And where Zandile slept, did she sleep also in the on the couch? What is we don't know that information. So now he's probably is in some kind of whatever is going on. I'm not even sure how he used to treat Zandile, whether he was violent towards her or whatever the case was. So that's why I think this is when Senzo Mewa gets up and says, "Hey, daughter, no, no, no." Maybe he started becoming physical towards Zandile. And then what's his name? Senzo gets up to now protect, to be sister-in-law. And then that is the scuffle. That is the scuffle that we hear from Togo's mouth that took place, which ended up in the kitchen. Because if you listen attentively to Mtogo says he was watching. The only thing that he did to make sure that it did not happen is that Christian is out of harm's way. So when you say, "I took the child out of harm's way," what are you doing? Are you not observing of what is happening? You're observing of what is happening. And then the next thing we hear during the scuffle is a gunshot. So I'm thinking this is where Longwe and Senzo are loggerheads. Probably, and I say it again, probably Longwe was strapped. He was strapped. He takes it out. Boom. He shoots Senzo Meiwa. And this is when he runs out of the kitchen. And we never see him again. The next time we see him is at the hospital, and his father comes. The father part should give you a clue as to what really happened and who is the real shooter. That's my first scenario because I had three scenarios. The second scenario is they are at the house. Now we're gonna leave the 20. Yeah, we already know what happened on 25th, and we know what happened during the day of the 26th. Now let's go back into the Foslora's house, the Kumalo house. I'm thinking, Kenny Kumalo was in the bedroom putting Tingo to sleep. Meiwa and Zandile probably were in the kitchen. Maybe they were Zandile was Obama, what do you call this, was chopping salads or helping the mother cook the soup. And enters Longwe, who is furious because he's been looking for Zandile since yesterday or since whenever. And he heard that she slept over in Malbote and there's an extra guy there. So he wanted to, and then indeed he gets there. Maybe even Mtogo himself was in the kitchen with Zandile while everybody else is sitting in the living room. And then he's like, this is the guy that you were sleeping with in Malberton. And then Senzo, because this is his friend being falsely accused, jumps, runs into the kitchen and says whatever, and then a gunshot rings. And then he shoots Senzo Mayo in the chest. That's the possibility. That's another possibility. So now Senzo is shot, and now they're at the hospital. He's dead, and Chico Thwala is there. Comes the midnight, Kelly Kumalo swap. What does a swim swap? That's another highlight that I got this week. Because now we know that Kelly Kumalo committed a crime by doing a swim swap. How does she do a swim swap? Because she had Senzo Mayowa's ID book or identity document. Then my question then is, when they remember they left Foslora's house because whatever reason, and they went back to Malberton. Do you don't you think Chico Twala was in that house in Malberton the night of Senzo Mayo? This is after they left the hospital. They went to Malberton. This is where they started cooking the script. Just asking. Because I believe his son has committed something heinous. Whether that was by accident or intentional, still he took a life. So, as a father with millions, what do you do to silence everybody? So, of course, you're going to want to know how much do I pay you. But if I'm going to pay you, here's a script. Go read it, memorize it. By the time you take the stand, you must know exactly what to say. So that is my story. Now let's go back to your question, Slu. How do I feel, or what is my take on cancellation of Kelly Kumalo? I still believe that she didn't do it. I don't think she knew what was going to happen, but because she took whatever it is that she took to keep telling a lie, like everybody's telling a lie, and you can tell this lie has fallen apart. There was never intruders. And in Togo's testimony, when you hear him describe the suspect number two, it leads you back to the features of Longwe. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know about you, but for me. Now, how do I feel about the cancellation? I I feel like Kelly Kumalo from the start, she shouldn't have been treated with kid glove from the start because there's a man that died in her house and she is not telling the truth of how he died. So now when she's been given gigs and given this, and we are buying her music, we are watching a reality TV show, and then we are giving basically support, and then we are not questioning things about what had happened to Senzo Mayo. And now because we hear your name being mentioned by a colonel in court, and suddenly you were calling for cancellation. No, why don't you wait until the court pronounces on this matter? I don't know. So that's just my take on it. Like, do I believe in the cancel culture? I don't think I believe in the cancel culture because it could contribute in us also becoming killers. Because what if a person is so weak that they end up taking their own lives. Do you understand that you contributed to that? You know, so I wouldn't support cancellation, but I would question like events coordinating companies that call her for these gigs. Didn't you know that this woman is implicated in something as bad as the death of her boyfriend and the father of a child since 2014, and yet you are still calling her for gigs? I know I kind of like sound a bit ambiguous about this point, but the point that I'm making is that she's innocent until proven guilty. If she's guilty and if she's the mastermind, then I think she should go to jail. But the state will have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that she is actually the conspirator. You know, I hope I do have a third version of this, but that one is outlandish. So I'm not even gonna say it. Let's see. Let's go on in the live chat. We have Goodman. Goodman agreed. Longway is an intruder. Good vibes. Yep. Longway definitely for me. Nicolisa says Thwala is just a well-known Gauteng that. Oh, I didn't know that. Slu says at Cynthia, hello there in DC. I'm in New York. Oh, you got money, Slu. You should invite me to New York, dude. Are you in New York State or New York City? Did I get myself in? Did I invite myself? I'm crazy. Small says, what stands out for me is how weak the defense is. No, no, Small, they are not. They're not at all. I know it looks as though they are, but if you're listening attentively, they are shooting shots. They have like this bore. You know when you bore a hole in the ground. You know that machine that bores like a hole. That's what they're busy doing. Like they're they've disintegrated the whole story of an intruder. And I think these guys, the defense team, they've organized themselves. Um, Steve, is it Steve? You are going to, this is what you're going to do. And then the second guy, I think is Nisi, will just beat about the bushes, to rattle the witness. Then comes Mumalo, slow poison, and inject that poison. And then comes Mshololo, finish them. I think that's the strategy that I am seeing. That the other one will start off by asking what seems or sounds like stupid questions, but if you listen, like you read between the lines, you're like, good point. And already it casts doubt in the witness. The witness will be like, I see what you're doing. And then, of course, they'll second guess themselves when the second advocate comes in. By the time the third comes in, they're agitated. That's where Delela begins. Because remember, Umtogo was fine with the first defense and the second. He started getting rattled up by Numalo. By the time Shololo came, he was pissed. So no, I don't think so. I don't think so because when you are pissed, you end up saying things like you saw how Mtoko was yesterday. He would say one thing, come back and say but, and then we're like, no, no, no. What is the story? Your story is all over the place now, and that's the strategy that they were using. And then also comes the judge. The judge comes, and then you think it's in favor of the witness. No, the judge is trying to get the witness to be comfortable, thinking that the judge is on their side, when in fact the judge also has a strategy for you to continue lying because you already started a lie. Might as well finish it. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it. With my two IQs. As Bob continues to say, it sounds like they are hoping to be lucky. The questions they ask are not leaving one fired up. If they are fired, it's for a second. For a second, excuse me. No, Don't underestimate them. They are doing a great job. The state already, you already see that the state doesn't have a case because of the defense lawyers. Cynthia says, hello, not too far. Yeah, it's just the East Coast, both of y'all. Ticoliza says, I really don't think they are weak. Yeah, no, I also don't. Cynthia says it's bearable. Walk with all. Hey, Sila. I'm Yagbo now. Jovijo. You know I can't whistle, guys. So I'll just go Jovijo. Cynthia says, yes, me too. Same way. Okay, you're agreeing with what I'm saying. Let's see, let's see. Okay, I don't know. I'm getting choked. So sorry. Sorry. Let's see. Nicholasa says the promoter is saying he is giving them time and her team to work on the case as if she was doing that. Like, if you were giving somebody time to work, you shouldn't have hired them to begin with. There's a lot of morality questions I have for you, Mr. Organizer or promoter. Cynthia says that that night someone pulled the trigger, but for me was all he meant. All he meant to her. I just can't understand why she isn't anxious to tell the truth, so he can finally get justice. That's so true. The moment you hear that the state has no intention of calling you on the stand, you, who is seeking justice for the father of your child, should have stood up and called a press conference and said, no, I want to take the stand because I want justice for my man. But no, she keeps quiet. She keeps quiet. How are we supposed to look at her? If you want justice for your guy and you hear the state has no intentions of calling you, you should say, no, call me. Or I volunteer. I volunteer. Guys, don't forget to like the live. It helps with the algorithm. Please don't forget that. Colisa, Colisa says, allegedly. My opinion, bro. It's my opinion. My opinion doesn't need an allegedly. It doesn't need an allegedly. If it was a story I heard, then I would say allegedly. But because I'm making an opinion, but okay, allegedly. Because Lisa says Longo is still on drugs. See, yeah, I read an article. I think it was a month or 2 months ago that he's been missing in action for months, and they found him under a bridge. Um, yeah, he was found under a bridge, living under a bridge. That's what I heard. I was like, what? And then the reason why they were looking for him because he was to take the stand while Maumela was still the judge in this case. I was like, yay, that's a toughie for me. He is from many rehab, always relapse, no willpower. Yeah, I even heard somewhere where Chico Twala, his father, saying that he spent millions on his son. For me, I was reading between the lines. I was like, no, not on rehabs alone, sir. Not on rehabs alone. There are some witnesses that are lying on the stand, and their story is not adding up. Those millions you're talking about is to protect him, not from rehab. Because what kind of rehab that are you going to be spending millions on in South Africa? You know, I was just reading between the lines. Cynthia says, for me, this is the only scenario that makes sense. Yeah, that's for me too. Just sitting by myself and I'm thinking, Longo has not seen his girlfriend. Maybe they had a fight before, and now she wanted to get some air, and she doesn't want to answer his phone calls because I believe he was phoning her throughout the day and she never picked up, agitating him, angering him. Angering him. Or is it angering? Is angering a word? Okay, let's just use it for the purpose of this conversation we are having. So of course he was like, "This one is done," and then he takes his, puts it, and drives to Fort Loras. That it makes plausible sense to me too. Slu says, and there's a part on that Netflix docu where Mtogo said when Longo entered the house, 'twas as if an angel of death arrived. Ooh, did he say that? Ah, clearly nje, Longwe came strapped and ready to fight the man busy with his gun. Yeah, yeah, that's what I think too. Because he knew where his father kept the strap. Because apparently, immediately after that, Sentome was killing, that strap got lost, stolen. Convenient, right? Let's see. Waku says, Ish, you remind me of Mshololo's inquiry about crocodile. And she points up saying that she's never seen a crocodile. I was like, come on, sis. It's a metaphor. Clearly, you've done figures of speech at school before. And nobody has seen crocodile tears. Hands is called crocodile tears. They don't exist. No one has ever seen one. But I'm sure Lolo Dai was just, well, she was just poking. Equalizer says that Kumalo, exactly. Cynthia says, thank you, Clantis. She was a witness to a crime and can tell exactly what happened that day. She should be witness number one. Indeed, she must take the stand. She must take the stand. She must for her daughter, at least. Do it for your daughter. Michael says, Umtogo noZandile banemfihlo enkulu kuleli cala njengoba vele kunezinsolo zokuthi bebetshontshana. So I'll translate that because I've got some international audience here. So basically, Michael is saying in Togo and Zandi, there are suspicions that they were in a secret relationship. So yeah, because I remember Zandile when she was on the stand, she talked about how she was whispering to Senzo to keep him awake, and I was like, okay, this. I don't know if you guys noticed. Zandile said she was busy keeping Senzo alive, and she even touched his stomach, and then his stomach was feeling cold. But Mtogo says he was the one whom Senzo head was by his side, and then he was lifting it up and down to see if he was still in control and still breathing. Who's telling the truth here? Was it Zandile whispering whatever it is she was whispering at Senzo to keep him awake? And then another thing that I was trying to think was like, what was she saying to him? And then Togo says, I was the one who was busy because the portion of his body, meaning the head side, was on him. He even said, I even have blood on the jean I was wearing. The police even took it for forensics. So yeah, so probably there was a secret relationship. We don't know. We don't know. I wouldn't know, but I don't know. I don't even think I do believe that story. I don't think I do. But of course, people are taking from the fact that the two sisters, at some point, they stopped talking to each other. And my question was, I don't think it's because of the suspicions that one found out that the other one was cheating with Senzo, but I think maybe one was saying, Mina, I'm tired of this lie. I just want to tell the truth. And then this other one got angry and said, don't talk to me again if you ever do that, or whatever. I don't know. Masho Piadi. I know I butchered your name. I know I did. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Please do forgive me. So, but anyways, you are saying this whole trial makes my head spin. I can't be a lawyer. I'm too impatient. But you can be a YouTube lawyer, though. That's what we've been doing so far. I think as the YouTube lawyers, we have already solved this case. I think we've solved the case. So don't feel bad. And we are all impatient when it comes to this. And yes, this case is it's exhausting now at this point. It's very exhausting, but we will keeping on until to the end, and we will continue to voice our opinion. Don't worry. Your patience will get long a little bit on this one. I think we should just hold on a bit on that. Snow says, Minashem, I think the Kumalo family, including the mom, bakhohlakele. I think so too. Period. Hanging out and drinking with your daughter's boyfriend, like for real, I. This is not how Zulu people do things. In fact, this is not how Africans do things. Let's put it that way. You don't bring your boyfriend to your parents' house at all. Your boyfriend, when they accompany you home, they don't even come near your gate. They will stand somewhere in the corner there and watch you go home, enter your house. The parents will not even have to see you because the first time the parents of the girl sees you is after the boy has met with the uncles and the later. Ne? And the first time your mom sees your boyfriend is when he's now sitting with the uncles on the day of Lobola. Not just enter the house and then she sits, cooks for them, drink with them. I know people. That's not how it's done. That's not an African way of doing things. So you're right, but again. Highly favored says, watching you, bro, clan from Toronto. Hey, Canada is in the house again. But it was somebody else the other day. Hi from Toronto. How are you doing, highly favored? And new Soviet. Thank you so very much for subscribing. I highly appreciate you. I don't blame the companies canceling Miss K. It's baffling decisions taken. Why drive Z to hospital and not call cops? Where or were they trying to hide evidence? Nobody called the ambulance, nobody called the police. What were they discussing? What were they discussing? Because if you listen to the evidence in chief of Zandile Kumala and the evidence in chief of Mtogo, North and South Pole, because Zandile said Ebe Popola, meaning she was peeping through the bathroom door when she saw Essential staggering into the living room, and then he went between the sofa and the stand, and then she doesn't know what was happening. Followed by Kelly Kumalo and her mother. Her mother saw the cell phone card Kelly Kumalo on the charger, picked it up. Suspect number one saw her, gives her an elbow. She falls back. He takes the cell phone. But the same cell phone we hear now, it was not stolen. So, what was the whole purpose of intruders coming into the house if they're going to walk away with nothing? What's happening? So, what was the discussion? Because Mtogo says when he came back to the danger zone, this is what he said. When he came back from the Natchez, he walked into the kitchen, into the living room, and Senzo was lying in the living room where they were seated. That same sofa, but on the floor where they were seated. Now he's saying, no, that house is too small. Senzo's body was between the living room, the passage, and the kitchen. I'm like, but that's not what you said in your evidence in chief. You did not say that. Why did the story change? That's the third highlight that I picked up this week with Mtogo's testimony, which to me says lies. There was never an intruder. Never. Spo says, so it's a matter of don't disturb the enemy when they are making mistakes. Seriously, seriously. Spo says load shedding at 8, I will disappear. Okay, no, it's cool. Me, I just came out of it. Mashopiadi, I hope I'm a coconut. Forgive me. Drug addicts are hard to assist. Beating and addiction is a, no. I do not dispute that for a second. I don't. It's just that the story of the millions is half told. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's possible that yes, he may have spent 20 million rand on the or they call this on the rehab, but he probably paid 50 million rand to shut people up. That's what I'm trying to say. And it all revolves around the same person. Shutting up people and also taking him to rehab is still circulating around the same person. Lorenda, I hope you're not going to be talking about Durbin and Barney Charles, please, because you don't. Evening, sorry I'm late. What did I miss? You missed a lot, but welcome through. Welcome through from my home city, Durban. That's where I'm from. What all says apparently Chico offered KK a holiday after this incident. Nothing adds up in the case thus far. Hmm. So she must go and sip pina coladas and oh wow, wow. Some people are privileged. Sunshine. I'm curious as to who will take the stand next week. I hope it's Gininda. I really hope it's him because I got questions. I got questions. Yeah, it's quite. I'm also wondering the same thing. It's going to be interesting who is going. Yeah, it's handy. Next witness is getting. Oh, okay. Then I'm excited if it's him. We need answers. We need to hear some few things that don't make no sense. That Zandila said. That what her name Tapsang said. Also, that's said by Mtogo. Also by Colonel Stain as well as Mabasa. All these witnesses that took the stand thus far, something about this Gininda person that I am not comfortable with. My spirit tells me we might be dealing with the devil. Sunshine says also who cleaned up the house that night and why. Mapiri, according to what we heard thus far, she said when the police come, they must not see that these people were drinking, right? But she left two cans behind to indicate that nobody was drunk. You know, that woman is in trouble because tampering with the crime scene is a crime in this country. Sunshine, so many contradictions, too many, too many. SK, I was missing you. I was missing. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, my friend had such a great time yesterday that he's still sleeping even now. I'm 55% sure the scared mom is taking the stand next. Oh, that would be great to see Makumala take the stand. I would like them to ask her, wena uphuza ney'ngane, do you drink with kids? And secondly, they must ask her about her moral compass. That way you discredit her. Anything they should say from that point, it will be out of anger, agitation, probably even disrespect. Because I would do that if I was the lawyer, the defense. I would question her morality, basically. Like, what kind of a mother are you? Yeah. Then from there, ngimsasazele ngezinja lezi ey'landelayo umalo imshololo, meaning I would hand it over to the dogs. Okay, in a good way, not the derogatory way, in a good way. Because in South Africa, when you say winja, not the derogatory way, meaning that if you're a genius, we say you are a dog, my man. You are a dog. That's what I'm trying to say. Junie, who is next to witness? Who's the next witness? Okay, so far we are guessing it's going to Gininda. That's what I think. Someone else said the same thing. That was let's see, who was it? It was Tandy. And then SK says it's going to be Kelly Kumalo's mother. It's possible. Nicholas says that is what therefore brought in court the story of Longo being the shooter. Kelly ended up shooting Senzo by mistake. So now the third version, I decided to tell it. So now we're at the house. Forget what happened during the day, what happened on the 25th. Now we're in the house. And somehow Longa finds out there's a party going on at the Kumalos in Fosloras. He drives there because, of course, that's his girlfriend's house. Maybe the girlfriend called him and said, hey, Zekai, come home. We are having a little get together. And then he drove there. Of course, probably he always straps. So a person that is on drugs, sometimes, with the drug dealers, you need to also protect yourself from them. If you cross them, maybe that's the reason why he was carrying a gun that particular night. I don't know. I'm again just rubbing my two IQs here. And then he gets to the Kumalo house. He writes an SMS. I'm outside. Zandile gets out, collects him from the car. They enter the house. Zandile probably was still busy in the kitchen, either washing dishes, chopping some salads, or cooking soup with the mother. And then Kelly Kumalo was in the bedroom putting the baby to sleep. But Zandile says she's the one who put the baby to sleep. But then, okay, Christian is busy playing around and walking about the house like a child would do. And then probably Kelly Kumala comes out of the bedroom, sees Longwe in the kitchen or with Zandile, and then sees something bulging out of him. And then she lifts up his t-shirt and sees a gun and says, "Oh my goodness, you have this? Can I see it?" And then she tries to play. Senzo gets up from the living room to join them in the kitchen. Probably the gun falls. If the gun doesn't fall, Kelly, as she was playing with it, she holds it, puts her finger in the trigger, bam, it goes off, hits Senzo in the chest. That is my third theory. Now, because what's his name, Logo came to the house with a gun that does not belong to him, which I don't think it does belong to him. Now they need to cook up a story. While Senzo is busy dying on the floor, they are busy discussing what do we do next. That is my third theory. I know it's a little bit far-fetched, but the possibility is there because I went to a school where a child came to school with a gun and his friends were looking at it. The other one accidentally pulled the trigger, hitting the other one right in the head, and he was gone. We've heard these stories a number of times before. Sometimes a person will be cleaning their own gun and without realizing that there's a bullet in the chamber or maybe in the shaft, and then they face the gun this way to try and clean the where the trigger is, boom, blows his own brains off. We've heard that before. So now, why nobody's saying, hey, it was an accident? Because I believe from the soul of my heart that this was an accident, it was not intentional. That's what I believe. So yeah, where we go. Is how do you pronounce your name? Seychelles or Seychelles? Seychelles. Seychelles? The KK Kumalo has no order. My partner never wanted to see my mom when they were dating, and he is that it's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's immoral for your boyfriend to come to your home having not paid not even a cent of lobola. It's not right. Sasha says they're guilty would catch up with them, or it will catch up with them soon. I hope so. I truly hope so. Koliso says too many contradictions from the witnesses. I still say they must bring Makumalo. I'm sure she'll crack. Hmm, I hope she does. Betty says, I wonder how they sleep at night. They will tell you, I just lay down and close my eyes, and then I wake up in the morning looking beautiful. Dicolisa says that Kumalo, the mother doesn't have morals. How do you entertain your daughter's married man? Sit with them when drinking alcohol. And the funny part when Togo says, "Oh no, it's not good to drink in front of no, it's not good to leave cans of alcohol when there's an elder." But the elder was watching y'all drink. So which one is more disrespectful, the cans or drinking in their presence? That did not make sense to me. Tati says, why YouTube doesn't have voice notes? I think they're going to do it at some point because what you are asking about is a lot of creators are asking for it. So usually what YouTube does is it listens to what we want and then incorporate it as a feature. So sooner or later, you are going to be seeing that. Seychelles says, nah, all I see sensor had to be deleted, allegedly. And did other people who were fighting so-called intruders got bruises, scratches, or abrasions, or swollen after a day or so? I suspect answers will be no. You mean like he was deleted deliberately? I'm still not convinced of that one, Seychelles. I'm still not convinced of that one. I still believe it was an accident. That was an accident. Callisto says the ID book part also got me. That's the fourth or fifth. That's the fourth or fifth highlight for me. Kelly Kumalo committed a crime. Oh no, it was my second. Kelly Kumalo committed a crime by refusing. This is like identity theft, by the way. It's part of the crime criminal procedure act. Yeah, or I think it's an addendum to the criminal procedure act. Stealing of somebody's identity to do other things with it without their permission. In this incident, the owner is dead less than 24, less than 10 hours, and then you're already making use of their identity book. No, I would love to know why she was refusing to give the family the ID book and why a SIM swap was done on Sensor's phone. I think you and I already know the answer. You know, you know, when somebody dies that was working, there will always be either the sisters or the brothers or the siblings together with the mother who wants to go to the wife to ask for his ID so they can go claim, take his house and key and car keys and all of that stuff. So I think maybe it had to do with that. That's my suspicion. Bronco. Okay, what does CH mean? Or maybe it was an incomplete sentence. But nice to see you. I like the name Bronco. Tandy, I hope KK, as she was refusing with the ID, I hope she didn't claim as Rosemary. That's the whole point. I think so. That's the whole point of refusing with the ID because she even refused to hand over Sensor's ID to the brother. To the brother. So how does she think they are going to arrange for his funeral? Really? How did she think they were going to claim monies without his ID? How do they think the Mayor family will take what do you call this what do you call this person again? The Master of the High Court will choose or appoint an executor without his ID. I Seychelles says, please pardon me to be out of context. Is KK father alive? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. Sorry. Louis says, I think Tumelo is the next witness. Ooh. I hear he's a crier. That's what I hear. He's a crier, that one. So let's hope that he cries the truth this time around. Seychelles says, my theory is KK knew she had to do what got to be done. But in her house though, her mother's house, That's the part I don't quite understand. Because if you're going to do it in your house, all eyes will be on you. All eyes will be on you. You know what I mean? Already, all eyes are on her. Lorenda says, "Good night, babysitting from warm Durban and home of the bunch." You know how to really twist the dagger, hey? Good night, though. Good night so much. Thank you so much for being here, Lorenda. Thank you, Lorinda. Thank you. Seychelles says, watching from UK. I wish, Great Britain, I wish to hook you up or hook me up with my son just to hear how he see this case. He did law. Oh, what does has he said anything to you that you can share with us? I'd like to hear. What is his perspective of this entire case? You know, it's always nice to hear from a person who went to law school, because of course they will see it in the legal perspective, and of course in a way that they would also tackle it if they were the either the prosecutor or the defense lawyer. Good evening, family from Petunia. Good evening to you too. Thank you so much for joining in. Cecilia, was Senzo insured? If so, who was the beneficiary? Would be interesting to know. I have no idea. He was a soccer player. Do they do that stuff there? I know Sundowns. Apparently, Sundowns is very strict when it comes to financial education, things like funeral plans and insurance. This no player, whenever they die, they have to now ask for donations because Sundown's name will not handle that. So I understand they have that type of they're given like financial advisors and all those people, and that's why they basically apparently Sundown players all their ducks are in order. All their ducks are in order. So I don't know about the other soccer clubs. I wouldn't know seriously if you was insured and who was the beneficiary. Tandy says Tumelo sang like time. I wish he can do it again. Oh, he sang like a canary. Can you sing again? Now this time the truth. Can he just sing the truth? That's all I want from him. Siabonga Buthelezi says Mtogo claims to be telling the truth, but knowing very well he ain't what a friend. What a friend. There's a part where he said he doesn't understand what people want from him. I'm thinking, we want the truth, dude. Why would you say that? Why would you want us to accept the lie? Because the lie is not lying. You know? The lie is not lying. It's not giving any sense, bro. Seychelles says that the reason I asked is KK's father is still alive is the way Makumalo let such disorder in her home. I don't know. But sometimes you will find a household with both parents in, but the kids chaotic, chaotic. Two parents, but they do as they please, disorderly, nuisance to society as well, as if they were brought up by Mdwembe. You know what I mean? I know some parents they do the best that they can. I'm not going to say they aren't. There are parents who do everything that they can for their children to be upstanding members of society, but the children choose to take a different route in their lives. So I don't know. As Shell, the father has never been there in their lives. I read somewhere about that. Oh, okay, okay. Siabonga says the state case is cooked up. It is evident with the surface of Mkomeni picture. Is it Mkomeni or Mkomeni? You remember a guy? I used to live in Durban when this guy who claimed to be Mkomeni, he woke up from the dead, he never died. Oh wow, it was a mess. Yeah, I heard that part. I was like, the state was doing all it can to pin the murder of Senzo Meiwa on the accused, which was quite funny for me. I think there was another Maskandi singer who was also pictured and linked with accused number, is it accused number four, five, no, five or three, three. Fezeka is in the house. Good evening, my clan. Thanks. What? Thanks to that white guy was married to Kelly that he moved out. You? He was married to a white guy? He married a white guy? Okay. Uh, love wins. Sleepy Sandy, hi. Sleepy Sandy, what's up? Sleepy Sandy, hey. Sleepy Sandy, hi. Hi, Sleepy Sandy. I hope you fine, man. You are definitely a member of the clan because this, this is what we do. This is what we do. But anyways, guys, I think I, I think probably this is it for tonight. But what am I leaving behind? Oh! Before I go, I was asked a question. In fact, it's a common question that I get asked in my Instagram DM. If you guys are not following me on the Instagram, it is at Clantis underscore Dumagute small letters. So if you want to DM me something or you want to speak to me about something, that is where you go to, and then we'll have an interaction. I may not respond immediately, but I will respond. That's for sure. And then if you want to send me an email, there's what do you call this? I have an email address in the description box, not in the description box, under about channel, under my about channel. So basically, you're just gonna click on my avatar, and my avatar is going to show you those features. Then you go under about, and then you will see an email address there, and then you can send me an email. Somebody also said I must open a PO box. They would like to send me things, and I'm like, The last time I got it, what do you call this? What do you call this thing? A drone. Somebody sent me a drone from the US to say thank you for the job that you do. So they came into my DM and asked for my address, and I'm like, my address? What do you want to do? My address is like, I want to send you something. I was like, okay. Then I gave him my work address, and then about a week later, I get a call from DHL, and then boom, a drone, a whole drone. So I have the best community here. I must say, the best community. The clan, yeah, the clan. It's not official yet. It's not official yet. Just 24 hours from now, we are going to declare which one do we go with. Okay, Nicolisa says refusing to hand over the ID and SIM swapping Sensor's phone, where the watch and earrings she took from hospital after kissing Sensor's corpse. Somebody says she was whispering over them. My community, hey, point of order, honorables. Sasha says, gag, your expression about married to white men Mhlongo killed me. No, it's not like I have an issue with her marrying a white person. Hey, marry whoever you want. I support that. But I didn't know that she got married to somebody else, and then I'm hearing it's a white guy. For real? I didn't know that. Tanti says, I wish they didn't expose those pictures so they can wait for Gininda. Now he can change his story about it. That's so true, eh? That man, I don't trust anything. And I doubt I'm going to trust anything that's going to come out of his mouth. Pesica says, yes, he was also musician Hope Hop, even the ring was a tattoo both of, oh, they tattooed the rings on the wedding fingers. Okay, now that's a white thing. That's definitely a white thing. Um, but then inexpensive too. That's the part I like about tattooed wedding rings. I like that. I do like it on the expense side because you don't have to go and buy like expensive a ring, cheapskate. Sleepy Sunny says good night. How much hours do you sleep? Do you sleep 24 hours because sleep is good and fun? No, I sleep 6 to 7 hours. Sleepy says the clan. Okay. All right, you must also go and vote in the poll that I put up last night, about almost 24 hours by now. You can vote there as well. Is it okay to eat snow? I'm just asking. Ew. You mean number one, when snow falls from the sky, you understand that aeroplanes do like gasoline dumping, and that gasoline kind of like lingers in the air, and then when it falls in the snow, that chemical is plus pollution. And then I understand as well some aeroplanes when they, with the stuff that number two of people in aeroplanes get dumped as well as the plane flies. So those are the things we'll be eating. You. Changing the narrative, Booty, what's up, bro? I'm about to leave actually just to come in. I've been here for an hour, 20 minutes already. Thank you. Thanks. How are you doing though, my friend? How are you doing? I miss you. I miss you, man. Changing the narrative says we use to make ice cream with the snow. Ew. Dude. Maybe the air in the US is clean, but down here, I don't think so. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, guys, we are going to continue to talk because the next live is going to be the week to be. We're going to be predicting who is next on the stand. So far, we have three people that are possible witness on Monday, either Tumelo, Makumalo, or Gininda, one of the three. So we'll see what happens on Monday, but we will predict that tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're just going to predict what goes on, what's going to go on, what's going to happen. Tandy says, Clantis, as snow just ice. Yeah, that collects stuff from the sky before it falls to the ground. Rose, Stan, Luna. You're standing me. Amita, hi Amita, hello from US. From US normally, but in Egyptian capital Cairo today. Ooh, drop globe trotting, I see. Globe trotting. But welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm about to leave though. I think I will leave at 1 hour 30 minutes. Right now it's 1 hour 22 minutes. So we'll hang out just maybe 8 more minutes and then we're done. Changing the narrative says, miss you too. We must hook up soon. Onions and all. Yeah, sure. I was at the airport to see Ronnie leave. We sat there for like at least I think 2 hours or so, just catching up because I haven't seen him in a long time, and I just wanted to say goodbye as he left to the US. So I know he's coming back, and that song is a banger. That song, woo! I missed out a lot. I missed out a lot. I missed out a lot on that one. But no, definitely, I will let you know when the chains have loosened, and then I'll just let you know when we can hang out. Yeah, onions definitely. We'll go to onions and all. Um, Fezeka says yes. Zandi said so when she testified, but didn't hear Ukuba ebesithini that time. Kiss esibunzi. Take earring and watch you. Kumalo's bacha izibindi. Zek. Oh gosh, that was so funny. Not only was it funny how you said it, but also itself, adding that just exploded into me. Shorty, good evening. Good evening, Shorty. Tandy, really nice to be here listening to you and laughing because y'all are making me laugh. Yuri, hello from Russia. Hi, Yuri. How are you doing? Woo, from Russia. Oh my God, we have Russia in the house, people. Whoa, thank you so much, Yuri. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Oh my gosh. So Shell says just dropped MS in your Instagram, and oh okay, I get you. And I'm coming soon to South Africa again. Let's meet and please, if you don't mind, no, I don't mind. You just drop me an what do you call this, a DM. Find out first if I'm not going to, because sometimes I get tied up, or maybe I'm out of the province for work. So we can talk in the what do you call this in advance before you arrive. But yeah, definitely we can do that. Rita says loving the rose hue horse head behind. That is the YouTube short sign. I got it yesterday. YouTube gave me as a gift. It's a YouTube short sign. It's just that I don't know how to dim the light a little bit more so you can see it. It does have a remote, but the remote, I don't know if maybe it's me or I don't know. It's not working because I've been trying to, because you can control the brightness. You can even change the color to orange or blue or all those nice colors that it has. So it's YouTube that gifted me. It arrived yesterday. It's giving the elite Clantician field chai. Oh, you mean this? I love horses. I love horses. I think of my spirit is a spirit of a horse. So yeah, I love the horse. I thought maybe you were talking about this shiny little thing behind me. Capture question, sir. Do you enjoy milk and other forms of lactose? Yes, I do. Chocolate. I got a sweet tooth, extremely sweet tooth. Chocolate, you name it, I take them all. So yes, I am lactose tolerant. So yeah, definitely. Amrita says cheese copying. I see. Yeah, yeah. I cleaned myself. I was starting to look like Father Christmas. Even my barber, when I walked in this barber shop yesterday, was like, "So I see Christmas came early today." What the hell? Just cut my hair, bro. Yeah, it was beginning to be big and everything was. It's because I've been so busy. At the same time, I'm enjoying getting old, and I want to see what kind of an old man I look. Yeah, so I am cheese copying. Oh, you're loving it. Thank you, thank you. But this is my signature look, though. This is how, in a normal circumstances, this is how I look like. Okay, I'm about 2 minutes. Then we close it. Capture says, heck yeah, lactose gang. If I woke up lactose intolerant, I would eat many bricks until I couldn't move it away from the pile of bricks I was consuming. You know how I know I'm also lactose tolerant? When I was at school, I used to eat chalk. I used to eat chalk because I don't know something about my body that was craving. I think it was craving. Sorry, guys. It was craving iron or something like that. I think that's what the doctor told me that my I'm craving iron. So, anyways, I would also eat bricks. Trust me. But anyways, guys, let me do a closing and say good night, you guys. Thank you all so much. I see you, Tandy, saying good night. I see Seychelles says, did you hear about the cameras on Apollo light at KK section? No, I did not hear that. But I did hear something about the Apollo, that there's an Apollo there in Fosloras, like in other townships. I think I think the old apartheid townships, you will find Apollos there. So I don't know if there was a camera there, but anyways, I am so grateful to you guys. Base Chalk Eater, good night. Yeah, guys, let me say good night. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you always. I will see you definitely tomorrow, where we're going to talk about the week to be and do some little predictions too about what's going to happen. Anyways, good night, much love, and let's see each other again